Welcome to Spunky Spirit with Cari Muggs, where we talk about spiritual empowerment, growth, and connection. Here's your host, spiritual life coach, author, and intuitive advisor, Cari Muggs.
Well, hello, guys. So today, welcome to the Spunky Spirit podcast. Today we are going to talk about frequency and vibration. And remember, everything that we talk about or I say is my opinion, what I've worked with. There's other spiritual intuitives out there, other psychic mediums that, maybe have different experiences, and that's fine. That's great because we're all different. We're all different, and we all have our different things and our different gifts and how they work with us. So my experience with frequency and vibration. So everything has energy. Everything. Every rock, every tree, every material, your home, your body, your aura, your mind, everything has a frequency or a vibration. So what I kind of experience that is like explain that is when I do readings, Spirit's frequency is pretty high and our frequency is pretty low because Earth is just generally a lower vibration, a lower frequency, but we can work on raising our frequency, and I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. But so when I do readings, Spirit's frequency is pretty high, ours is a little lower. So what Spirit does is Spirit has to lower their frequency just a little bit, and I have to raise mine so we can meet in the middle and be on the same frequency, kind of like a radio channel. So I can hear what Spirit has to say and they can communicate with me. This is just like your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi in your house has a certain vibration, a certain frequency, and your phone has to have a certain password to attach to it. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So when we're born, our frequency is pretty high, and spirits don't really have to lower their frequency when we're kids because our frequency is super, super high. So when I was younger, I could actually see the spirits. I could see their whole body, their full apparition, and it's because our frequency when we're little is so high. And so Spirit very seldom has to lower their frequency to little children. They can see them pretty well. But what happens throughout time is after we turn 5 or 6, people start telling us things and we start believing them. Like, you can't do that. No. You can't see that person, or you're not good enough. And so our frequency starts to lower. It's just common with everybody. Some people still can have a high enough frequency to see across the veil, and some people just kind of get lost in that they lose their frequency and they focus on other things. I could still see past the veil, but there was a time in my life that I tried to shut it down, and I lowered my frequency, and I drank a lot of alcohol to try and shut it off because I didn't want it on anymore. So yes, alcohol can lower your frequency. Certain things can lower your frequency. Negative feelings, negative thoughts can lower your frequency. So it is something we can work on, our frequency going up and going down at times. What we want to do, and the ultimate goal is to have our frequency be the same as the universe's for the things that we want or the things that we want to create. So that way, if our frequency is in alignment with the universe and the things that we want to create, then it becomes easy for us to create things. What happens is we want to create certain things or we want to manifest certain things, and we try and get our frequency up there, and we try really hard, but sometimes false belief comes in or doubt comes in and our frequency lowers and we're again not in alignment. So with my job, I try to stay in alignment with spirits that come through because I have to stay on the same frequency as them. Now, when I do my readings, sometimes the spirits can come through full apparition and I can see them, but most of the time not, because if they come through like that, again, they have to lower their frequency a little bit. So it takes them a lot of energy to come in that way. And if they come in that way, they can't stay as long. So because they have to try and keep their frequency at that point for a long time, and it's really, really hard. So they'll come through to me like orbs or lights, and they will tell me things and show me symbols. They'll show me things like roses and balloons, like for birthdays. They'll tell me things like ask her about the ice cream or tell her about the milk, or because they want to show me things that you've done throughout the day or memories that they have. And remember too, when I do these readings, I'm seeing their memories. So you have to remember if you ever go to a medium or a psychic, if there's something that comes through sometimes, it's probably because it's their memory, because they're telling you their memories, and not something because they don't know what your memories are, right? So they'll tell you, so they might show you things that you've done together because they're hoping you remember that. So anyways, that was a little bit off track, but frequency. So the way I keep my frequency up, so for readings, is meditation is huge. Meditation is a huge, huge thing for your frequency. And it doesn't have to be an hour long. You don't have to sit on the floor with your legs crossed and do the om thing. It can be running. It can be bicycling. It can be driving in your car. Meditation is just when you can sit and you can hear spirit talking to you, or you can connect. So prayer is when you talk to God or the universe or spirit, and prayer is you connecting, and prayer will raise your vibration also because you're talking to your spirit guides or God or your angels. And remember, you can talk to all of them because they all work together, and God doesn't care because they all work together for you. So prayer, and then meditation is you listening for answers. So all you really have to have is just be quiet. And I know some people are like, well, I can't sit there and think about nothing. Well, nobody can. Nobody can. I don't care who you are. Nobody can. Some people have just gotten really good at pushing thoughts out of their mind. But sometimes those thoughts or those things that enter are questions, are solutions to your prayers. So sometimes you don't want to. You just want to tune in, and you want to meditate with intentions. Like, today I'm going to meditate with the intention of raising my frequency. Today I'm going to meditate with the intention of getting the answer to this. And those answers will come through. So those are a couple ways how you raise your frequency. Another way is affirmations. This one was really hard for me. I don't like looking in the mirror and saying, oh my gosh, I love you, you're great. It's hard for me. So it's something you got to practice. It's something, but I remember the first time I did it, I was doing a reading down in Sedona, and the spiritual advisor put a mirror in front of my face and said, tell yourself you love you. And I couldn't do it. I cried and I totally sobbed. And I knew at that moment my frequency needed to be raised, and that's something I needed to do. So I practiced that all the time. I practiced it and practiced it and practiced it. So music can also raise our vibration, and spirits like to use music sometimes to talk to us. So music, and be careful. I mean, you know how music makes you feel. So one song can make you feel like crap, one song can make you feel awesome. So you choose, when your frequency's high. Let's be honest. Like, when you're not on the right frequency mode, and when you are on the right frequency mode. So, because you can just feel it. You can just feel it. So music is huge. Music is a huge one too. Also, self-care. Creating boundaries so you don't get overwhelmed. And some people think that it will lower your energy or your frequency because it's selfish, and it's not. Because if your vibration isn't high, how can you help other people raise their vibration? Honestly, it's like that oxygen mask on the airplane thing. If you can't breathe air and take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to help anybody else. So if your frequency isn't high, then you're not going to be able to help anybody else raise their frequency. So be selfish, make boundaries, say no, because if you keep saying yes, 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 your frequency is going to be so low that you're not going to be able to help these people, and they're going to align with your frequency, and it's going to be on a low frequency. Now, I know moms have a hard time with this. I get that. So just, do what you can. Take the time out that you can, even if it's just 5 minutes of putting on a song and dancing in the front room with your kids. Like, that will totally raise your frequency. Food also has a frequency, but here's what I don't want you to do. If you read a book and it says dairy lowers your frequency, then you're going to think, oh, dairy lowers my frequency, I can't have it, which is not entirely true. Dairy could be lower that frequency for that person. Honestly, it doesn't mean it's going to lower your frequency. You do you. Do whatever you can. If you need to make a food journal and see what foods make you feel better, there's not one fits all kind of thing. I used to do celery juice until I realized that this is not, I'm not bagging it. It's fine. And some people do it and it completely raises their vibration, and that's completely fine. But it didn't mine. It didn't. And it's not, just because some people it does, doesn't mean it does other people. So just really tune into your body. So let's see what else. Crystals can, rocks can, trees can. There's times when, I'll tell my clients, if you are feeling, bombarded about or processing some stuff, then take your shoes off and go stand outside in the dirt, because that will help you with your frequency. Trees, touching trees, helping you with your frequency. So nature's huge in helping you with your frequency too. Walking outside, just being out in the air. And I know sometimes it's too cold, but even just being outside for a minute can help raise your frequency because it helps us connect. So, and I think that's kind of all for frequency. I think that's just it's hard to believe that everything does vibrate. Everything does have a frequency. That's why certain crystals and certain rocks have a different frequency. Everybody doesn't always have, all the crystals have there's different crystals that protect. There's different crystals that open your third eye. And my next podcast will actually be on rocks and crystals, because I've had a lot of people asking for that, which is great. So, just know that frequency. And you do reset, I do at least, when you go to sleep at night and you wake up in the morning. It kind of resets your frequency. You can generally be in a pretty high frequency, or the same frequency throughout 3 or 4 days in a row, but sometimes you just need that sleep and that rest and that rejuvenation to, you could be at a pretty low frequency when you go to bed at night, and then you could wake up at a pretty high frequency too. So sometimes I feel like sleep does reset that. And just know that some days it's going to be, no matter what you do and you try and raise your frequency, it's going to be frustrating, and that's okay, because we're human and Earth is pretty dense frequency, and that's just how it is. So the closer you are to God and the closer you connect, the higher your frequency is going to be, and that's really kind of what it's all about. So do those things that uplift you. Do those things that help you. And I know sometimes you feel like it's so crazy and it's so busy and there's so much going on. But you know what? You got to give yourself 5 minutes. You got to. If you don't, that's kind of, I know what it's like. I have 7 kids. I know that it's crazy. I try and run this business and I do readings. But if you can't give yourself 5 minutes a day to try and connect or to try and raise your frequency, then there's something going on. There's something going on. So you need to kind of take toll or take inventory of your life and see how that is that you can fix that. So if you have any questions about frequency or vibration, let me know. I do know that it's a pretty awesome thing, and you can change your frequency within a minute. You could turn on some music. Oh, and another thing I forgot to tell you too is gratitude. Gratitude can raise your frequency so high. So if you sit and complain about, I can't do this, or I can't do this, or I can't do this, or I won't do this, just remember, if you sit down and be like, okay, I am grateful for this, and I am grateful for this, and I am grateful for this, your vibration and frequency will raise so that gratitude's like the highest frequency you can be at, gratitude and love. So if you're really struggling, I want you to sit down and make a list of everything you're grateful for. And this is including like, I am grateful for the dirty dishes because that means I have dishes and we have food. Like if you're struggling to find things that you're grateful for, I want you to really dig deep and just be like, I am grateful for a baby who cries because that means that they are healthy. And I get it. I know this is hard, but it will help raise your frequency. It will really help raise your frequency. So, my next podcast will be about crystals. If you have specific crystals or specific gems or questions about them, please DM me on my Spunky Spirit page on Facebook. Also, every week I do a Cari Connects that I pull a card for the week. Right now we're doing animal spirits, and it kind of sets the tone for the week and lets you know what to look for and what you need to do and kind of connects you with spirit. It's kind of fun. So that's on Spunky Spirit on my Facebook page. And also on my Instagram, Cari Mugs. On my stories, I am giving away a 30-minute reading. So on Mondays or Tuesdays, I usually post it in my stories, and you can enter your email address and enter for that 30-minute free reading. I think I'm going to start doing this monthly. So go to that and do that. And I think that is about it. I am in the process of making a course for those of you out there who are mediums or have a psychic connection or a psychic medium gift or would like to know more about it. I am in the process of making an online course for you to help you tap into your gift better, to doing readings and trusting what you're getting. So for those of you who would like to make an appointment for a reading, you can go to my website at carimugz.com. That's carimugz.com. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything you do for me. Thank you so much for just being my biggest cheerleaders and fans. And, practice raising your frequency this week and let me know how that goes. Awesome. See you guys later.